What has been unfortunate for the Big 12 in recent years, and it's happened to other conferences, is that one or two games define the entire conference. Well, this could turn out to be a positive for the Big 12, but because in most people's eyes, I'm not talking about really people that dig in to college football and the results like the two of us and hopefully most of the people watching. But now that Oklahoma's beaten Ohio State, for the conference perception, a lot of games that I thought mattered quite a bit, Kansas State going to Vanderbilt and USC, Texas, even Baylor and Duke, Oklahoma State, Pitt. Oklahoma State could go to Pitt and lose, and not a whole lot of people are going to knock the Big 12. They're going to knock Oklahoma State and say, well, they were a pretender, but Oklahoma is clearly, we already knew they were the best team in the conference anyway. So this isn't going to hurt the Big 12. So the Big 12 has positioned itself based on one game. I think the performance is deeper than that, and it's all the other games that we've talked about that the Big 12 has stepped up in, but the national perception is based on one game. And so the Big 12 has put itself in prime position here to just further the resume, and likely will do that with the Kansas State performance at Vandy. They should win that game, in Oklahoma State at Pitt. So any other of these matchups that you'd like to break down, Chris, go at it.
Yeah, we can talk about Kansas State at Vanderbilt because nobody is talking about Kansas State. So somebody should, because that's a serious issue. This was a team that was one of the three clear-cut contenders of the Big 12 with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma got the big win over Ohio State, so everybody's talking about that. Oklahoma State has a lights-out offense with a Mason Rudolph and James Washington that everybody's talking about. Kansas State is flying under the radar with a quarterback that will run through a brick wall if you ask him to, and he is one of the most – he's in the top 10 in passing efficiency as we speak. Kansas State, I think they're about to have a coming-out party against Vanderbilt. They're only, I believe they're like a 4-point favorite right now, and I think that is seriously, seriously low. Vanderbilt, I understand they look pretty good. They have a couple of wins against nobody and nobody, but Kansas State, I think they're being undervalued.
Stop you right there, Chris. Just, yes, Middle Tennessee is no powerhouse, but if they had played a Big 12 team, and I'm just looking at some of the matchups that we ran down in week one, you would be giving somebody in the Big 12 some credit for beating a team that typically goes to a bowl game in Middle Tennessee State. So no, they didn't knock off Michigan, but they knocked off Middle Tennessee, and they're a pretty capable football program.
I mean, sure, Middle Tennessee is a capable program, just like Tulsa is, in the Oklahoma State win, but I'm not giving – I don't think Oklahoma State's really good because they beat Tulsa. I already knew they were really good, and beating Tulsa just kind of showed me that in that way. And we still don't know how good Tulsa is because, they're a completely different team than the 10-win team they were last year. But I think Kansas State, they're being seriously, seriously undervalued. They have a lot of returning talent. They have a quarterback that knows the system. He's playing very, very efficiently. He, not making mistakes. And in a Bill Snyder system where they just kind of grind it out and beat you down and just take away your will to live, I think this team could be scary good. And Vanderbilt's not a team that's going to jump out and make them point chase, because that's how you have to beat this Kansas State squad. You have to make them point chase, and Vanderbilt's not going to make them do it.